Hi everyone, my name is Miss Duffy and I'll be your algebra teacher for Winter Break Academy. This is the video for our first lesson of Unit 1. Unit 1 is on polynomials and rational functions, and our first lesson is just going to be on multiplying polynomials together. So let's say you have two polynomials like this, and we want to multiply them together. Here's what you do. You're going to distribute each term from the first polynomial to each term in the second polynomial. So after you do all that distribution, then you're going to combine your like terms, and then you're done. So what does that look like? Let's do an example. So here's our first term in the first polynomial. So I need to distribute that x to every term in this second polynomial. So first I'm going to distribute x to x squared. So I'm going to do x times x squared. So that would give me x to the third, right? 3x's multiplied together is x to the third. Then we distribute x to minus 3x. So that's going to give me minus 3, and then x times x is x squared. And then we distribute to plus 10. So x times plus 10 is just plus 10x. So that's the first distribution. I'm taking x and multiplying it by every term in the second polynomial. Okay, now let's distribute our second term. So the second term in our first polynomial is 4, so we're going to distribute that now. So we'll do 4 times x squared, so that just gives me 4x squared. Then we'll do 4 times minus 3x, so that gives me minus 12x. And then finally, 4 times positive 10 gives me plus 40. All right, so that was all the distribution. We've done all the distributing now. We distributed the x to all three terms. We distributed the 4 to all three terms. So now all we have to do is combine our like terms, and then we're done. So let's look for like terms. Like terms are same variable, same exponent. So here I have an x squared term, and here I have an x squared term, so I can put those two together. And then here I have just a single x term, and there's a single x term, so we can put those together. So, simplified, we would have x to the third, and now let's put our x squareds together. So minus 3x squared minus 3x squared plus 4x squared. Altogether, that gives us plus 1x squared. Okay, now let's put the x terms together. So plus 10x minus 12x. If we combine them, we have minus 2x. And then we still have plus 40 at the end. And that's all there is to it. So distribute, combine like terms. Okay, we're going to do two more examples. So 2x plus 1 to the third, what does that mean? To the third power means multiplying by itself 3 times. So this would be 2x plus 1 times 2x plus 1 times 2x plus 1. Okay, how do we deal with 3 polynomials multiplied together? First, let's just do these two. So I'm going to leave my first 2x plus 1 there, and then I'm going to multiply the other two together. And we know how to do that. We distribute the 2x to every term in the other polynomial, and we distribute the 1. So let's distribute the 2x. So we would do 2x times 2x. That would give us 4 and then x squared. And then 2x times 1, that's just 2x, right? Okay, now let's distribute the 1. So if we do 1 times 2x, that gives us 2x. And then 1 times 1 gives us just 1. All right, so that's the first set of distributions. Let's combine our like terms in those parentheses. So now we have 2x plus 1 times 4x squared. 2x plus 2x is 4x, and then we have plus 1. Okay, and now it's just like what we did before. We're multiplying two polynomials together. So we're going to distribute the 2x to everything, and we'll distribute the 1 to everything. So let's start with 2x. 2x times 4x squared. 2 times 4 is 8. X times x squared is x to the third. 2x times 4x, so 2 times 4 is 8. X times x is x squared. 2x times 1, that's just 2x. Okay, so we distributed the 2x. Now let's distribute the 1. Okay, 1 times 4x squared, that's just 4x squared. 1 times 4x, that's just 4x. And finally, 1 times 1 is just 1. All right, so now we're fully multiplied, and the last step is just to combine our like terms. So we're looking for same variable, same exponent. I don't have any other x to the thirds, but I do have two different x squared terms, 8x squared and 4x squared. And then I have two different x terms, 2x and 4x. So let's put it together. So we have 8x to the third. 8x squared plus 4x squared is 12x squared. 2x plus 4x is 6x. And then we have the plus 1 at the end. All right, one more example. So again, multiplying three polynomials together. Let's start by just doing these two. So we're still going to have x plus 6 out front, and then we're going to multiply those other two together. So we'll distribute the x. So x times x squared is x to the third. X times x is x squared. Now let's distribute the minus 4. So pay attention that it's a minus 4 this time. Minus 4 times x squared is minus 4x squared. Minus 4 times x is minus 4x. All right, so let's combine our like terms in those parentheses. That gives us x plus 6 times x to the third. X squared minus 4x squared gives us minus 3x squared. And then minus 4x. Okay, and now we just have to distribute the x plus 6. So we'll start by distributing x to everything. X times x to the third, that's x to the fourth power this time. X times minus 3x squared, so that's minus 3, and then x times x squared is x to the third. And then x times minus 4x, so that gives us minus 4x squared. Okay, now let's distribute the plus 6. 6 times x to the third, that's just 6x to the third. 6 times minus 3x squared gives us minus 18x squared. And 6 times minus 4x is minus 24x. All right, so that's all the distributions. Last step is to just combine our like terms. So don't have any other x to the fourths, but we do have two different x to the third terms, minus 3x to the third and 6x to the third. And then we also have two different x squared terms, minus 4x squared and minus 18x squared. Okay, let's put it all together. We have x to the fourth, then minus 3x to the third plus 6x to the third gives us plus 3x to the third altogether, minus 4x squared minus another 18, so we're going more negative. So that will give us minus 22x squared. And then finally, we have minus 24x hanging out at the end. All right, final answer. So that's an overview of how to multiply polynomials together.